Well, as you can see in the back, the flip hood, if you can call it that, clamshell, flip flop. It's done, it works. Well, it's not done, but it works. So I made this hinge point. It's firmly attached with 12 M6 screws to even out the load, even though this thing looks very heavy. It's just glass fiber and it's quite light. I still want to actually measure, well, weigh it, but that's for future me. Anyway, I just flipped it up. It's now resting on the gearbox jack, just to make sure that I don't overextend the joint, because it's now resting here. So I need to cut out a little bit more. It was first hitting here, so I cut this piece out. But that's all minor details. It works. It only snagged a little bit on the strut tower, so somewhere around there. I don't know where exactly. I have to cut out a little bit more of this lip that I left in for strength or stability. But it actually went easier than I thought, flipping it over. Now I'm going to flip it back. It is very high up, so I'm going to use a little stand to recreate a little bit more of the realistic scenario. But let's see if it works on my own. When it tilts back, it should rest on the bars, the temporary bars that I made there. That's where the gutter falls on. It shouldn't fall, but rests on. Yeah, let's do it and see what happens. Well, that was easy. Can I also flip it back on my own? It was a little bit further away than I thought, but yeah, as I said before, it's snagging there. But this is actually quite easy. I'm a little bit lucky that this the balance point is around here, but still, as I said before, the ground level where the car will be somewhere around here. So this is even a little bit lower than normal, so I can reach it from the start. It still snags, but around here it starts to approach its balance angle. Balance point. Well, now it's balancing. Well, it's resting a little bit on the like 0.5 millimeter that it's resting on the frame. But yeah, it's easy to continue further and lower it on some kind of wheel dolly thingy when I need to move the body around. So that's better, way better than expected. So I'm happy. So I've been doing some calculations, well, not per se calculations, but more measuring of the tubes that I still need to finish the frame. Because I've been thinking a little bit now with the flip top, that's what I want to call it. I want to finish the frame, because when the frame is finished and I have jack points for the lift and, well, a jack, then I can finally remove the car from the frame machine. And removing it from the frame machine has some upsides and downsides. One, it's easier to move around because this thing is heavy AF, and it will be lower, so I can finally get the right door cross design in place, etc., etc. The downside is that, well, it will be lower, so that will make some work a little bit harder. So I have to bend over a little bit more, but that's just a minor downside. So I'm, so yeah, okay. Finishing the frame is now priority. So I have to get some 40 by 2 tube more at Matthias Lidin. And I decided to use a few 30 mil normal, so not DOM, but just welded with a seam. That's perfect for for example, hood latch. It's already on the hood and it's going to be mounted somewhere here. Normally it's mounted to the front panel, but I think that's not strong enough. And also I want to be able to run the car and thus the hood with the front panel removed. So it's going to be attached somewhere here on a some kind of bracket. That's the latch. Then we will have a tube here. It's now mocked up with some leftover steel, just for some extra triangulation. Then there will be a cross brace going like here. I would want to do it here, but then the intercooler pipe is in the way. So I'm going to run it here as a strut brace. And also there needs to be, and that's the main thing with the 40 mil tube that I need to get, there will be a cross. So now there is only the diagonal tubes, and I think that will be enough to keep the car from buckling. But still, I want to have a tube that goes from there to the other side, there where the exhaust clamp is, and from that corner to this corner. I've been doubting to do it like a V shape, so start both tubes there and then run out on A shape. It should be almost to these points. And then do the same inside. So go from there, that corner and that corner to the center of that. But I think crosses are a little bit more work, but still they are prettier at least. And also a little bit sturdier probably. So that's what I'm going to do. So I made some measurements, and this is the tube notching templates that I need to go indoors and print out on the computer machine. So I finally got some new tubes from Matthias Lidin, which is super nice. And well, I'm making the final cross. The cross won't go in line with this diagonal tube, but goes. I was planning first to use that point, but it's going to be the strut towers. Well, I measured from this side to this side, which is give or take 40 degrees. Doesn't really matter, 41, 90, 39, whatever. But I should have measured from this side. So the tube that I already cut now, the notch is way too steep. And I keep forgetting. I keep counting the angles wrong. So I have to measure from top down instead of 90 degree that side. Anyway, did that wrong. Well, I'm balancing on the lift right now. Let me get off without breaking my neck. So I made a new template quickly. 52 degrees, a little bit oversized, probably 50 would be more likely, doesn't really matter. If it doesn't fit, it leaves a gap for welding, which is only better. And this is going to be a actual race car, not a show car, where the welds need to be, well, vacuum tight before welding. So let's redo this. I always leave tubes 5 to 10 centimeters long, just in case this stuff like this happens. And now I can overlay this new template, which is a little bit less steep than the other one, and only lose maybe 1 or 2 centimeters. So I still have too much length on that side. That's a tip from me, a free tip. Always leave your tubes too long and then cut them down when you do the second cut, because well, if you're a little bit like me, then you'll mess up sometimes. And here we are in the other messy workshop. I just marked the new degree angle, I should say, on this tube. And well, as you can see, it's let's measure let's take a more clear view, 1 centimeter and 3 mil, so 13 mil ish, so half an inch difference. So that's not too bad. So if you mess up a cut, an angle, it really pays off to just redraw it on the end and well, not lose expensive tube. Well, I decided to move this tube to the other side. Doesn't really matter, it's a cross, but this is the path with the most walking, so I decided to do the hard part first. Well, it has a little bit of a gap here, but I think personally that's good to have a little bit more penetration with welding then. And well, on that side still too long. I notched a little bit further on this side and made this like weird dimple to clear the welds on the inside there. Now I can first prepare that side and then fully weld the tubes that are already here. As you can see, that one's just tack welded in. But yeah, let's measure the other side and cut. komt hij op. Holy shit. Fy fan. Wow. Holy shit. Holy shit. I'm a little lost for words here. This is something, this picture has been in my head for well over a year. Let's say 1.5 years. This picture I had in my head. And now I kind of see it in real life. This is wow. This is going to work. The wide body doesn't make it. I was kind of afraid that the extreme wide body thing would be weird. But there was like, when the car was like a meter up in the air, it's weird. But now, at least with this mock-up over there, it doesn't look bad at all. This is good. Fy fan. So. So there we are. The car is on the ground. It's a rolling chassis now. It actually moves, not in its own power, but I can at least easily push it around, which makes life a lot easier. I can now easily install the cross in the top of the frame and do all kinds of stuff like a little bit higher up. But I have to put the frame building part on pause now for a little bit, hopefully not long, because I applied for an inspection with the SFRO, which is the Swedish, it's not a government thing, but it's a Swedish organization at least that like can approve cars to be road legal. And to be road legal you need to do a few inspections. First one is when you have a rolling chassis and the frame is not like completely done, so you can make changes if something is not correct. I have been building everything according to spec. Because I kind of had this in mind, but now I decided fully to go for getting it road legal. Already been in contact with the SFRO inspection guy, and well, I'm waiting for a date and time that he will come over to inspect the car and see if this gets the approval, not the approval for it to actually be road legal, but the first approval like, okay, this is the right path, you're going down. Make sure you fix this and this, and make sure that you blah blah blah, like a few pointers, but like it's more like getting a go-ahead from them, and then you do a final inspection with them. Then they really test the lights and the engine, and is the brakes enough, and blah blah blah, like you have like a big checklist of things. After that, the car will be, if it gets approved, it will be registered, so it gets its own name, a new build date, so 2025, probably, hopefully, and a chassis number, and then a registration plate. And if I got that, then I have to go to do a final inspection at the normal roadworthiness test center for the MOT, so to say. And but that's far ahead. But now I can't really do much because everything I do now might get unapproved or not approved. So. And also I hurt my wrist a little bit, like I strained it a little bit, nothing to worry about, but I just need to take a little bit of physical rest where it comes to like doing heavy lifting and wrenching mostly. So what I'm going to do now is more digital stuff, so I'm going to scan the car, start working on the wide body. I decided, first I was doing it with paper and tape, but now I decided to actually do it in CAD, so in Fusion. Do a scan. Now I know what the ride height will be and everything. I need to put the front panels back. I moved the cabin a little bit, so I need to redo, or at least bend probably, all the mounting points a little bit, change them a little bit just to get the panels back. So I can focus now on designing computer stuff, and also I'm going to work on the engine wire loom first. So the wire loom for the engine and the rest of the car is a mix of everything engine and a mix of everything car. So like blinkers, headlights, indicators, you name it, like all the extra stuff that's not engine stuff. And since everything is still in the right place, so the steering wheel is still in the front, the tail lights will still be in the back, etc. I want to split everything because the engine is now not in the front anymore, but is in the back of the car. So I need to split the wire loom. So that's one thing. I installed the rear door off camera. Was a lot of work, very boring, like drilling out, and it's like there is very little steel parts on the car, but the hinges for the rear door were steel, and still steel, but now mostly rust. So I had to drill out all the bolts and blah 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 and remake the mounting points. But I was really lucky that I could tap the holes from M6, drill them out, and then make it M8. A little bit overkill, but at least that fits. So now the door is in place. And one of the questions I got with the previous video, and I got a lot of response, like a lot of comments. So I really liked that. I was like over the moon with all the comments I got. So please do that again for this video. Still happy to get just you bought a new car or it's snowing in your place. I don't care. Just send me anything. But one of the questions I actually got like multiple times, and I just kept copy pasting the answer, but it's about the sliding door. So there should be a sliding door here. Let me get the door. I put it on a dolly so I can move it around. So this is kind of in the closed position, almost. I can't really close it, and there is this rails that should go up here, and the bearings. Well, one's gone already, but one of the bearings roll in here, and that's where the door is suspended on. But this one, it's also steel, so it's very much rusted. It's very much gone. So I'm trying to find a new piece of steel to do this. It's a very weird shape, a plat oval, they call it in Swedish. No idea what the English word is. But it's very simple shape, and there's just a little bit of a bend in it. That's easy to do, just put it on 2 blocks and just stand on the middle, and then it will bend probably to this radius. Doesn't need to be very precise. Anyway, working on that. But the door, the question I got a lot was the door. Won't it hit the rear wheels? Yes, it will, because if it opens all the way here, it can't open further than this, because then it will hit the wheel. But the wide body will be forward a little bit more, so like probably the maximum opening space will be roughly here before it hits the rear fender. And this is just that's just too uncomfortable and unsafe, because if there's a fire or whatever, I want to be able to quickly exit the car. So the door needs to change, and I have a very it's actually a simple solution. It took me a while to come up with the idea, but let me turn the door around. So the door is suspended on the top in the rails that I just showed, and normally it's kept in place by this guide. So it's mounted to the body, this side, and it just keeps the door from flapping. But if I remove this, and I tried this before I took everything apart, there is enough wiggle room, because the rails profile is rounded, so there is enough room and possibility to move around. So the rear of the door could swing out. If you kind of continue the movement, it would be like a going door, like these old Mercedes. That would be really weird. So what I want to do is ditch the mounting point and make something that attaches to the bottom of the floor, and make a rail that goes under the car. So this follower will be moved down and will be like in a U shape going underneath the car. And then when it opens, the rails all the way in the end, like the last 20-30 centimeters, will flare out. So what the door will do then, so it will open normally, like a normal door does in a Joven, in this Mailtruck. So it will open normally, and then when it reaches this bend, it will follow this bend and just kick out the underside of the door. So the door will flare out like this, and then open the last 20-30 centimeters. So 9 out of 10 times when the door is closed, or nearly closed. It just looks like a normal tool oven, but then when you fully open it, it flares out. Looks a little bit weird, but it functions. So it's mostly for, well, when the car is on fire, I need to get out quickly. I just want to throw open the door and just run away, or whatever. So that's the plan actually. Not sure how I'm exactly going to do it, but this follower will be probably some kind of like same principle as here, but then probably using one of these small 12mm tubes that I can easily bend by hand. So that's the plan. About the door, no priority yet, but I'm just trying to take this apart. But there's 2 bolts here that are also steel, so very rusted. 2 of them I could get loose, but those 2 won't come loose, so I need to put a little bit more fire into that equation. So in here I can show the rear door. So the rear door, took the glass out, was the only glass sheet that was still attached to the car, except for the doors. Well, this is also a door. Anyway, so door opens now. I left off the constraint thingy, and I'm going to take that away because I just want to be able to fully open it like this. So this makes sure that I can work on the engine if need be. Change the exhaust because the exhaust will run. I've already started working on that. It will run like this in a bend, and there will be a V-bend. One of the V-bends will be kind of like here, and then we'll continue that side and exit the car probably here underneath the tail light. And there will be 2 versions, one straight pipe, so it's turbo straight pipe, and one that has a catalytic converter and a silencer and everything, just for the approval process. Don't tell the SFRU guys. Thanks. Anyway, so that's the rear door. Then I also started doing something else. Is I made this, so that's closed. I made this square tube. It's open on one side and it has 2 small tabs, so it can hang on this rain gutter lip thingy. And the idea is to make, where's the wheels? There's wheels here. Make a frame, very light frame that I can carry, probably attached to the roof or whatever. At least I can carry somewhere in the car. I can take that out, hang it on the back of the car, then tilt the whole body back, rest it on the wheels, and then the hinges that are now attached with bolts, the bolts will be replaced by pins that have a safety pin in the end. So I just take out 2 safety pins and then pull out the big pins, and the whole back can just roll away. So if there is like a big issue with the car, or something happens over here where you can hardly reach it, well, when there is a window inside, then at least I can pull back the body and work on the car easily. So say I need to do like an engine swap or whatever, that will be easy, because when the back is gone, the clamshell, or the flip top I should say, then it's just the tubes that prevent me from reaching everything, and the tubes are very easy to crawl into and through. This side I also started working on checkpoints, so I can pick up the car if needed. One thing I also wanted to show is the ground clearance. So if you go look underneath the car, it's not bad. It's like 15 to 20 centimeters of ground clearance, and it's on coilover, so I can adjust it if necessary. But there's like no real low points, and even between the like halfway through, there is even open space, so there is room for activities like speed bumps or whatever. So that's one thing. Also working on the front panel to have openings that are filled in by this insert for like normal driving, and the insert can be taken away for more airflow when racing. So already 10 minutes in blabbering, no more than 10 minutes. Please leave a comment, please do. I think that's really important. And again, tell everybody in your surroundings about this project, because I think, I think people might like this, so I wouldn't want to keep them from enjoying this build. Thank you, see you next week in the next episode, which will be a little bit more boring, I think, with all the wire loom stuff going on, which is now hidden under the lathe, but will be out and, well, yeah, working on that soon. Bye.